What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel, man. It's your boy Huddy, and today I'm showing y'all my Smith of Kitava warrior build. It is pretty simple to what I've heard is most people's warriors build on YouTube. I don't really watch a lot of builds or other people's builds on YouTube. I try to figure things out on my own. So if this is similar or damn near this exact same, I wouldn't know. But I'm just gonna show you guys what I'm running and why I run it. And I appreciate you guys for watching and showing some love or commenting and let me know like, hey, this is wrong, or like teach me something, because I may explain something wrong. I'm not perfect. I'm human, and I also don't know everything about PoE. Like, I'm not like shout out Zizarin or Darth Microtransaction or Quinn and all those boys that I watch I stream. that I watch stream occasionally. But yeah, this is what I've feel like I'm not gonna say I'm min-maxed because I'm only level 91 and some of my gear needs some help and love. But yeah, this is it. Quick little plug. I do stream Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. to 9, maybe 10, depending if I'm, feeling okay or not too tired from work, because I do have a full-time job. So that's why I don't upload too often on YouTube. It's easier for me to just stream. I can just come home, hit the freaking stream button and just play the game and have fun. And y'all just tune in, which I hope you guys start tuning in Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern time. But anyway, let's get into the build. Show my skill tree first and what I have going on. Smith of Kitava, super nice ascendancy. Love this. I'm rocking a normal body armor, so I can add 4 modifiers to my own. Choose 4 of my own modifiers for my chest piece that'll fit my build. So I'm running support straps, 20% increase stream, maximum fire res, which is the gimmick of this whole thing. You want to max out your fire resistances. It maxes out your cold and lightning. This does not affect chaos. Does not affect chaos. Molten symbol. It turns physical damage, 25% of it that you take, to fire damage, which is super OP because with you having 90% fire resist, you basically take no damage from that 25% physical damage that will just turn to fire. 5% maximum life per second as regeneration. Super OP as well, especially for maps with burning ground. It's like this outpaces burning ground. And it also, I was messing around earlier today. The rat tornadoes and the rituals, bro. 5%. This right here basically makes it to where you take no damage from rat tornadoes. Unless that's literally my character blocking with his shield. I don't know. But I just know this 5% maximum life per second is kind of OP. Like I was saying, the whole gimmick, max out fire res, the modifiers to my fire resistance. The same thing that basically what they're saying, the same thing I do to my fire resist happens to my cold resist, but it's only 50% of their value. Maxing out my fire res, which is going to affect that. And modifiers to maximum fire resist also grants maximum cold and lightning resist. Super nice. You can hit max res in normal campaign before you hit cruel, if you focus on gear with reses. So basically all you want to do essentially in this tree, at least for me, I did melee damage, armor, life regeneration, strength, skill effect, block chance, area of effect, stun build up, strength with 2-handed weapons, strength, block chance, aggravated bleeding, crushing verdict, stuff like that. More stun build up, more attack, mace skills, war cry, giant's blood, which is the main reason why you need to stack a bunch of strength. Like, I'm not even kidding, like a bunch of strength. This node right here is super OP because it works very well with the Smith of Kitava ascendancy, where it raises all of my elemental resistances by 5%. And then it also does, what the world? It also does 1% to maximum fire resistance for each 40% uncapped fire resist. I may not need this no more. I don't know. I'm gonna take it off and see what happens. Probably after the video. I went down here for my attributes, reduce attribute requirements for my gear because the hammer I have currently right now, I do not have the strength for. And I just went up here and grabbed this jewel slot. I'm going to point out the major nodes on why I feel this build is just actually just dumb. This node right here, lay siege. All of this right here is super nice. 1% increased damage per 1% chance to block. Super nice. So if you have high block chance, you get an extra, like each percent of block chance, you get 1% increased damage per. So I get 10, and then I get an extra 10%, 10%, 10%. So that's 30% extra damage just for holding a shield. Not blocking, not having a weapon swap, none of that. I'm just holding the shield. Got 30% increased attack damage. Then you got your block chance nodes, stuff like that. And keep in mind, like I said, percent block chance, 1% damage per percent block chance. Super nice. So I got 12% here, 5%, 5%, 5%, 5%, 10%, and then 15% reduced slowing potency on debuffs on me. Super nice. Crushing verdict. Granted, I lose attack speed, but I stun build up really fast because first off, I'm using a mace, which innately does stun build up, and then I got the extra 30% boost, and then it got 50% increased attack damage. Crazy damage. Went with, this is also a main thing of this resolute technique. Your hits can't be evaded, but you can't crit. So if you're trying to do a crit build, don't grab resolute technique. But if you're just doing straight damage, grab resolute technique. Nothing can dodge your attacks. Super nice. I have this anointed on my amulet. Once again, stun build up. I got my stun threshold increased, and I got 5% increased strength. Really nice. Giant's blood. This is how I'm able to hold a shield while holding a two-handed weapon. But it also triples the attribute requirement. So if you got a mace that requires 100 strength, and you put this, now it requires 300 strength. So you got to be careful of that. Make sure you're ready. I grabbed all these, like I said, for stats, strength. It's another thing I want to point out that it could be super duper nice. Two-handed weapon damage. You can get colossal weapon for increased area of effect, plus 10 strength. So it's like I can probably like drop a lot of this. Well, now smash is where it's at. I take that back. But yeah, this is still a really strong node though. So if you're going a different route, this is a really strong node. Got 10 strength, boom, boom. And then you got basically crushing verdict, but it's over here. 10% less stun build up. And 10% less attack damage. But it's basically crushing verdict, baby brother or sister. So yeah, super nice. This is my skill tree. I'm level 91. I just leveled. Yeah, this is it, man. It's super, super strong. I really like it. Survivability is there. The damage is there. Like I said, I can melee basically a full map. Granted, clear speed's not there, but I can just melee everything and be fine. Like melee feels really good. Unlike the previous build I was trying with this class, which was spear melee. Spear melee feels absolutely dog water. I wish it was better. Melee just feels bad with spears. I see why like people who use spears only do lightning spear. Like my friends, they do lightning spear and they do twisters. Like I see why, because I tried to do a melee bleed where I'm just using spear strike, and it's just absolutely garbage. No matter what I did, it was just bad. People who watch my streams know, like, terrible. Anyways, getting to the support gems and main jewels or gems. Mace strike, like I said, I love melee. This is what I use. Concentrated effect, more area damage, less area of effect. Soul thief. is a must. Soul Thief is a must because when we use our skills, we use a lot of mana, like a lot. So this does, it counteracts what we just used. So essentially, say if I leap slam, I just used 100 plus mana. One of my attacks will literally give all my mana back instantaneously. I think one of my attacks will fill my mana bar from 0 to 700 because of how strong my mace is. So Soul Thief must have for any mace build, in my opinion, that uses a lot of stuff for that consumes a lot of mana. Ancestral Call, super cool gem. I really like it. I don't know if this was in the last patch. Last patch I didn't really mess around with a lot of melee stuff. I mean, not last patch, last league. I didn't mess around with a lot of melee stuff. This is a cool support gem. So essentially every 6 seconds, this thing gets ancestrally boosted, which I think that's what the blue outline is. So every 6 seconds, you do a melee attack and you get these little like ancestors that come out with their maces and hit 2 other random targets. It's really cool. And they do a lot of damage. I think they can one-shot white mobs. Heft, 30% more maximum physical hit damage. Self-explanatory. A lot of extra damage. Fire infusion, because I don't know what else to put here. So I just threw it on there. Probably could put, no, I can't put that. Yeah, so I don't know what to put there. I just threw that there once I hit level 90. On the Bone Shatter. Bone Shatter, I usually use after enemies have been primed by Leap Slam. Went with Impact Shockwave. Heavily stunned enemy, dealing the same damage to enemies within 1.5 meters. Got magnified effect, more area of effect. Basically, once they're primed, I hit them with Bone Shatter. More people blow up. Reach, 80% less accuracy rating, but that doesn't matter because we have Resolute Technique on. So we basically just got a free 35% area of effect bonus. Defy. Basically, what this is luck. And what luck is, in ARPGs at least, it takes two numbers and it chooses the largest one. So say if I hit someone for 500 damage, the game rolls it again and it randomly gets a number. And if the number is higher than the 500 that I got, it puts in the higher number. So if I hit something for 500 and the game rolled 510, it's going to take the 510 and the 500 just goes back into the nether round. Super cool. All right, on to Leap Slam. Leap Slam I use to prime big mobs for Bone Shatter. I went with Brink. Stun buildup caused by supporting skills cannot reach 100%, which is cool because if I do that, basically my Leap Slam can blow up everything. So if I stop it from blowing it up, it can stun, or it cannot reach 100% stun or whatever. Martial tempo, fast, increase attack speed. I can jump faster. Rage, 3 rage on hit. And I think with me leaping into a mob, I think it counts as each mob affected as a hit. So it's basically an instant 30 rage probably. Never really paid attention. Overpower, hits with supporter skills, cost 50% more stun build up. Super huge for bosses. Onto my Hammer of the Gods. We went Fist of War. It's the same thing, ancestrally boosted every 6 seconds. Same thing on my Mace Strike. Once that lands, you get 2 other little totem people come out and smash whatever targets around. Heavy Swing, more melee physical damage, less attack speed, but that doesn't matter, and I'll show y'all why. Lacerate to inflict bleeding. Reason why I went with bleeding is because around the warrior node, there is nodes that increase bleed magnitude and bleed duration. Rage Forged. If I have 10 rage, this support gem consumes it. Therefore, Hammer of the Gods does 35% more damage if I have 10 rage. If I don't have 10 rage, this support gem is just sitting there. But what I have in this build, it basically I always have 10 rage. And I went with Sea Red for the last support gem. It increases the bleeding duration, but in turn, the enemy attacks faster and moves faster by 15%. So if I'm struggling to kill an enemy for whatever reason, and it has this, and they have their attack speed and movement speed buffs, there's a chance I could die. But most stuff just die anyways. Alto Infernal Cry. I went with premeditation, more damage, 15% more damage. Went with tireless. Basically 30% chance for my empowerment not to count. So if I'm at 3, there's a 30% chance I'm gonna stay at 3. I don't know if it's a 30% out of 100 or what, but 30% chance I'll stay at 3. Enraged Warcry. If I have 10 rage, it consumes it. Attacks empowered by them deal 30% more damage. Raging Cry. Supported skills grant 4 rage per 5 power of counted enemies. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit alt on that so y'all can see. The value is then multiplied according to the monster. So since monster power is a number that approximately reflects how strong and dangerous a monster is. An average monster has a power of 1. Strong monsters can have power of 2 to 3. A weak monster and weak monsters might have a little as 0.5 or very occasionally less. This value is then multiplied according to the number to the monster's rarity. So 1, 2, 5. Unique monsters always have 20 power. So I get 4 rage next to a rare monster. So I'm always enraged standing next to a rare mob or just anything. I'm always gonna have some sort of rage. Onto Earth Shatter. Reverberate. 15% increased chance to cause aftershocks for every quarter second of attack. And Upheaval is basically scatter shot but for ground attacks. 2 additional 20 less attack speed and 40% less damage. But I'm assuming my DPS, I'm doing 6,000 per fissure. So when I do it, I think each one of those is 6,000 damage. I could be wrong though. Splinter, break armor equals to 50% of physical damage dealt by supported skill. Aftershock, supported skills have 25% chance to cause an aftershock. Which is basically when I do it, it has a 25% chance to do that right there. Exactly what it just did. Perfect. Font of Rage, objects created by supported skills create a Font of Rage within 3 meters, which basically every time I create this, if I stand near it, I start building rage. But these only last like 6 seconds. On to the next, Seismic Cry. I have Dazing Cry. Daze is pretty OP because what it does is it dazes them, and daze is basically feels like pin and freeze. They can't move if they're dazed. Inspiration, 30% less cost, meaning I can spam it. Herald of Ash, I went with Deadly Herald, 30% more damage. Vitality, maximum life per second. Regeneration 1%. Overwhelming Presence, 25% reduced elemental element threshold, which is fine because I do fire damage or bleed. Well, elemental. So yeah, bleed don't even matter. Herbalism, flash recharge rate, shield charge, went ingenuity for cooldown, stomping ground. I just threw that on there because why not? So yeah, that's everything. I don't have any pinnacle content because I can't afford it because the breaches only last 2 seconds and expeditions don't drop logbooks for whatever reason. Maybe I just have bad luck. But you know what? How much is I can probably just buy one. They're gonna want me buy one. We'll do a breach. Breach on the map. How much does this cost? 41. Jeez Louise. Is it 1 for 1? Y'all about to watch me do my first breach. This is my first breach. And I'm prove it to y'all. I haven't done a breach yet. I'm struggling. Like I can't get anything. I did one of these. I need to put my skill points in that. Struggling, bro. Struggling. I got map skill. I can do that. Yeah. So yeah, first breach. Y'all about to watch me do my first breach. Might get cooked, especially on this build. I'm not used to melee builds, as y'all know if y'all watch anything I previously uploaded. I'm concoctions all the way. So what the hell? Concoctions all the way. Melee, like ranged attacks, all that. I also want to apologize if y'all can hear my mouse clicking. My mic for some reason picks up my mouse clicking. I don't know why. But let's do a breach. Do my first breach. Everything just dying. Granted, I am 11 levels higher than this one. I just ate a fireball to the face. My damage is crazy. I forgot to show y'all my gear. I have to show y'all after this. My bad. I apologize. Y'all gonna have to skip ahead if y'all don't want to see this and go straight to the gear. This hammer I crafted is crazy. This ain't really gonna be a test, is it? It's a T1 Zesh. I may just get away with this. Bump it. Y'all gonna see it. I have to re-record once I get a max Zesh or a arbiter. But I'm like I said, I can't even find a goddamn whatchamacallit. Citadel. I haven't found one Citadel yet. It's a struggle, man. How's y'all experience going with this update? Because I'm struggling RNG. RNG is whooping my ass this update. I got lucky with crafting more than anything, but the crafting's mainly been for me. Like I haven't really been able to make much money. Like I'll just end up selling like my old gear. Retrains? What's shooting me, bro? Get out of here. I need to put my loot filter on too. I have no loot filter. I'll just grab these.
I've no more room.
Divine crown. Anything? All right. Let's see how this goes.
We that dreamed, we in nightmare, we that are one. Hear the grey winds, we are fury. Our flesh is not ours, but yours. Reconsider.
Come back up. There we go. Get him out of there. Not too bad. Not too bad. Dude, he drops. Whatever. Chaos sword.
In the right hands, this could forge something truly exceptional.
Oh, this suck ass. I just be getting absolute dog water. All right, so that's that. I think I'm gonna show y'all the gear. Then that's gonna be the video. Alright, so my gear created that freaking crafted this nasty of them all the other day. So basically what you want in your gear, max fire as, and I guess any other resistances you can get, but I focused on, for my mace, melee skills, flat fizz, percent fizz, and attack speed. That's exactly what I got here. This hammer cost me a few divine, not a few divine, like at least 40 to 50 exalts, couple annulments, couple whittlings, and I finally got this. Like I crafted like a motherfucker on here, bro. Like I threw a lot into this, and I finally got this, and I'm scared to vol it because I don't want to brick it. But yeah, so flat fizz, percent fizz, attack speed, level of melee skills. Prioritize those for your maces. It makes everything else so much easier. I went with Thrill Steel Spire Greathound for Onslaught. The reason why Onslaught does is it increases skill speed and I think attack speed by 20% and movement speed by an extra 10%. So that's really, really big, especially for like Hammer of the Gods and Leap Slam, things that take a while to start. If you don't have attack speed, helps out a lot. For your jewelry, I would focus on, or your amulet really, spirit, strength, and melee skills, and life, and fire red. But honestly, I just focused on spirit, melee skills, and fire res, and I'm doing fine. I allocated Titanic, like I said in my tree earlier, which increases stun buildup, increases my stun threshold, and gives me an extra 5% strength. So that's really big. My shield, you want to go for max fire res, block chance, and life, and chaos resistance. That's what you want to prioritize. Rings, strength, fire, chaos, and life as well. Chest piece, normal chest piece. Don't do a rare, magic, unique, nothing. If you're going to use Smith of Kitava, that is. Rings, strength, fire, chaos, life. Gloves, I prioritize the melee skills, life, fire res, and strength. The Infernal Clasp, I went with this to once again raise my maximum fire resist. And I corrupted it, and luckily I got an extra 14 strength, so that's huge. I got lucky with that. Boots, same thing. Strength, fire, chaos, movement speed. Once again, fire resistance increases all your other resistances except chaos. That's why on all of my gear I have some sort of chaos resist, except my gloves and my amulet. But everything else, for the most part, has chaos resist. I'm sitting at 63% armor, which is really good. Sitting at 65% block chance, which is 10% off, which is where a majority of my damage comes from. Y'all remember that 1% damage per 1% block chance? This is why I went with 60. I'm trying to cook up block chance to get more damage, essentially. So yeah, this is the build, man. Once again, I'm gonna show off the skill tree. You wanna make sure you get all your melee damage, your stun buildup, your melee damage, skill speed, block chance, strength, polished iron, get all your armor stuff going. If you can, run Giant's Blood, get your attributes. If you want to run it like I run it, you can get these nodes. And yeah, this is it, man. It's pretty sick. I've survived. Let me see how many times I've died. / deaths. I died 189 times. That's pretty bad. Hold on. Is it / played? 3 days, 20 hours. But I'm not gonna lie to y'all though. Majority of my deaths were literally me seeing, just face tanking stuff and seeing how long I can survive, and I just die. So I mean, it's softcore. It's not like I'm doing anything, but 189 times out of damn near 4 days. It's pretty bad considering my concoction character only died like 105 times out of 15 days. So it is what it is. I'm not used to melee characters. Had to get used to all of this again, but that's neither here nor there. I appreciate you guys for checking out the build, checking out my video. We're almost at 500 subs. So I would really appreciate you guys if you guys like, comment it, and subscribe. especially comment and liking, bro. Like if you guys comment, you know, talk about these things and educate me because I don't know everything. Or if you guys point something out that makes more sense in my build, let me know. I'll try it out on stream. Once again, I stream 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. And yeah, this is it. Once again, I appreciate you guys for checking me out. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.